Well, what are we fixing today? As you can see, this is another voiceover because, yeah, I had another failure with my mic. Turns out that the mic just came on and like skipped syllables, and now I'm trying to listen to it in the background while talking to you. But aside from that, we're going to work on one of my template macros today. I shared 3 template macros. One of them is the color toolbox, which gives you a bunch of things in help in dealing with colors in Home Assistant templates, right? So there's links here. You can go look at it. It's available in HACS to load and to watch for updates. But the way this works is the macros are there. The macros that are there will convert from different versions of color, like red, green, blue, to, there's like 3 versions and 4 versions, Kelvin and XY and hex and all that stuff. It'll convert most of that stuff and give you some tools so that if you're given one version, it'll give you another version. There's also tools in there to give you the color name that Home Assistant has stored, because it has a list of names. Those are easy to remember. It'll give you the closest color name to a RGB color. It will give you the coordinating color or the opposite color to try to help with contrast. I don't know how to do contrast, which is a request, but there's a bunch of stuff like that in here. So what we're going to do today is, there are like 4 issues in this library. I'm going to update. I updated 3 of them already, and we're going to update another one live in this video, and then we're going to merge all this into a new version, so you can kind of see how this works on GitHub. So a little bit of how to do macros, a little bit how to do GitHub updates, to segregate them out into different things, so you can work on one thing at a time and then get it all together into a group, and then you can release that. Like if you want to do with HACS, you don't want to send out a HACS update like a week, it'll just annoy the hell out of people. You want to try to group them a little bit, and this is a good way to do that using GitHub. So let's get on with that. Well, here we are at the Color Multi-Tool head page in my GitHub repository. This is where you would go to find my stuff if you're not using HACS, to load it for you and to keep track of it, but I suggest you use HACS. So this is the master, and this is what's being shared to everybody. Somebody wants to download it now. They see that, well, they see the master. Well, this, I actually have released this, so if you download it now, you'll see the updated version. But this is what it was before I updated. There are currently 3 branches that I have built. One, which returns the complementary color of a color you give it. So you give it an RGB color, it comes back with the one that's opposite of it. So if it's kind of a bright blue color, it'll be a bright red color. So contrasting, I couldn't come up with a way to do contrasting. If you got a way to do contrasting, let me know. Do a PR. But this is a complementary color, which is close I can get. This one is a RGB to match. So if you're doing something, yeah, okay, I had to listen to the text, to the video, the audio. So this is the one where if you come up with a color and say it's 125, 50, 100, well, how do you remember that, right? So you can use this to come up with the closest match color that Home Assistant has canned in, and then you can remember that. It's easier. It'll say sea green or something, right? I don't know what that color matches, but this will come up with the closest named color that matches the RGB that you give it. That's what that's for. So this last one was a request from a customer, and they wanted to convert their temp to a Kelvin. And I've also created something to convert their Kelvin to a temp. So that is now exists in my library, and you can go up there and you can use that if it's useful for you. So we're going to be adding these at the end. These are all like canned and working and tested, all right? So we're going to add those. But today, we're going to try to fix this issue. Oh, these are the issues that are there. I'm going to try to fix this issue. Mr. Filippi came up with this issue and was having problems and found a bug, and it looks like I had a typo when I made it originally. But this continued on, and there is a second part of this which was very interesting. I'm just noticing that now because I haven't really read through this until this point. So I come down here, I see this guy's or gal's post, and he found a different kind of bug. Now, the code that I originally had was what is actually in Home Assistant, so it might have been actually right. But JDep here came up with another version that fixes an inconsistency, let's say, where one of the colors, the HS should have been referenced to 0 to 1, and it was referenced to 0 to 360, I believe. So this change, when I figure out what's going on here, does that. So I thought, well, okay, we can try it. We can always switch back if we have to. So I actually am going to add this person's code in. Now, this person did not know GitHub enough to be able to do a PR. And a PR would have been like, okay, I did the edit like this. This is what it looks like. I suggest you do the same. And it would come to me and I could look at it and like it or dislike it or whatever. Or edit it. But he just gave it to me in text form, which is fine. If you don't know GitHub at all, this is fine. And then I can, what we're going to do here is adjust that to fit my formatting so it looks consistent with my formatting. I gave JDep credit in the code, and we're going to do this edit together. So thank you, all of you who made this issue, for all the help, finding the issues, coming up with answers. This is awesome. This helps me a lot. I don't have, this isn't like a job or something. This is just a hobby for me. So it's a community project. So if you have issues, please write them up. And just like this is great. Right now I'm going to use that text. I copied that, and I'm going to create a branch that's named that. So just take out the spaces, the capitals, because I don't like those in the name. It can cause issues. Changing it to lowercase chase. And we'll create the branch. Now it is switched to the branch. So what I have here is a copy of the original master before any changes were made. Those other three branches are not in here. This is the master. And this is a copy of the master, but it's not the master, right? So I can make whatever changes I want here and check them out, make sure they work, make sure they look good, before I then push it up into the master and mess up the world. So now we're going to go into my local VS Code, and I'm going to pull down the branch. It takes me a while to find it here if I remember correctly. You can't see it on the screen, but it's down there. There's a little tag that says you're on this branch down underneath my chest or underneath the screen or something. It's cut off, which distracts me a bit because I'd like you guys to see it, but that's where it is. You can see it when you're working live with it. So now we're going to roll up and try to find the section that we need. We're looking for check HS. We're looking for. So we're going to scroll through and look for the check HS macro function. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is find check HS. I put it in my Finder. It's not that one here, I'm just using it. And here's the macro check HS. So here's the one that we need to edit at this point. It's a pretty simple one. It checks for a value and it checks for a max count. So one can be up to 100 and the other one can be up to 360. So we're just going to switch the two so that they work correctly as far as the test. So that's the one bug fixed. So the next thing we're going to look for is HS to RGB. HS to RGB has that algorithm that code that JDEP suggests to use. So we're going to change from what the original Home Assistant guts have in it to what JDEP says. I'm willing to go with it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. We can change it back. So there's JDEP's code. Now the main difference in the code is there's a little bit of difference down below, but it does the same thing, and it also scales the H value to 1 as opposed to the H value 0 to 360. It's going to be 0 to 1, and then the rest of the code is adjusted to match that. Here's JDEP's. So we're going to just start by doing some indenting. Giving this 2 spaces. This is an if, same let, and then this next one should get 4 spaces. And then the else is on the if. And then what happens under the elf is an indent 4. These are all indent 4s. Just using the tab. Going through it line by line. Now Home Assistant will throw these indents away. Fine. I don't care. Three tabs there. 2 tabs there. 3 tabs here. One more. Yep. 2 tabs. 3 tabs. 3. There you go. 2. 3. 1. Oh no. It keeps going. Oh, too many. Wait. You messed it up, dummy. There you go. And then last else. And else, so next is a 3. And then 2 and 1. There you go. So that's nesting it so it makes sense. And I'm just going to go back and check. I believe. If this, else if, else if, else if, else if, else in. So what's happening there is the same as JDEP had, except it's easier for me to see. The comments, I try to put them all on an equal vertical column. Just makes sense to my brain. And we're looking at where these sets should be, and I believe they should be indented 1. Because it's on the same function as the first if, so I need to come in 1. I'm just figuring that out myself in my head. Fast forward. So 1. Hit 1. 1 tab. No, not 2. There we go. On that level, that same level, same level, same level. Actually, not same level. Yes. No. Yes. Same level. See here, I'm going to figure out that doesn't work. Well, maybe it does. That. And it. Alright, here I am looking to delete that whole section and get rid of the original code. So, it's gone. Now I have to change all the attributions and everything else that actually changed up in the description area. So thank you, JDEP 238, 236. I appreciate your help on this. And if I could have put you in a different way, I would. But this is the best way I know to do it, without you having put in a request to change directly and told GitHub who you were. Just giving it a once over. Oh, there's a space I don't want. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take this section take this and copy it, and we're going to push this into the README because the README file has the descriptions. Here's the README file. Finding HS to RGB, and I'm pasting this in there with a little formatting. There it is. Delete. Paste. And it should look pretty good, I think. Oh, I have to fix the sample usage, I see. That link looks like it's there. Fix the sample usage. typo. That's not right. We gotta change that in both places. Oops. Yeah, it was right. HS. Delete that V. No, HS. HS. That's better. So looking down here we have to add some formatting. Or delete something or something. Oh, we're gonna change this before we forget. HS. So all these edits here are being done in my local copy on my computer, local computer. So I haven't pushed any of this up to GitHub yet. And I guess I didn't see that duplication because I haven't gone back up there yet. It's not, so we'll have to fix some more. So right here we're going to push this up to GitHub into that branch. Even though I know there's an error in there. Now, when I look at it. Maybe it's still in there in the master. I don't know. Might not have caught that. Give it a little description. And then we're going to do a commit. And this will push it up into the branch. Make the branch that's local here in my editor, push that up into GitHub to be in that branch up there. Here I'm looking for the issue number just to reference it in this. Yep. Referencing the issue number there is a good thing. Helps keep track of stuff. And just push the button. Commit it. There it goes. So now the GitHub masters, the GitHub branch of this name now matches what's here. Well, we're going to do pull requests on my 4 branches here, so you'll get a good shot at seeing this. Well, since I have 4 of them to pull up, there's going to be probably a couple changes that I made when I wasn't paying attention that will conflict with the other ones, so I'll have to make some decisions. I'm probably just going to accept everything. I'm just going to do them in an order that I think will work out the best. So let's go figure out what I'm going to do. So we need to go to here, code, and look at the branches. I have to get to the master in order to merge correctly. So we're going to start with this one and create a pull request out of the one that we just did. Oh, yeah, the one that we just did. So here's the description for the pull request. If you're doing this, tell me everything you did. So I'm going to list kind of the things I did here so that I remember in the future. So there's a created pull request. I'm going to probably assign myself. Yep. And I don't think I need any comments. I think we're just going to merge this.
20 minutes later.
Oh, do I have master? I think I have master. So I'm just going to kind of give it a once over, see if it looks like it's correct. I haven't changed the release yet. I have to do a new release. Ah, yes, I have to do a release. And the reason for the release is that's how HACS keeps track of, oh, Sir Goodenough changed stuff. It has a new release. So I'm going to tell everybody there's a new release. So this is how you do that part of it. Here are all my releases. I kind of do my releases in the same format that Home Assistant does them-ish. So today's year, today's month, today's day. This is when I did it. I think it's the 5th. Trying to figure out what day it is. What day is it? 7th. All right. So that's our tag. We're going to create that tag as we go. Need to give it a title. What am I going to call this? A handy button here to use is if you look just above me to the right a little bit, it says Generate Release Notes. That's usually a good thing to do because it will pull in all the... Remember when I did an update in my local copy and I put in some text as to what I did? It pulls all those in and distributes them. Well, when I was doing this, I forgot. And add capital S, no, not capital S. Add 4 functions, or 5 functions. Why do I say 5? I don't know. Maybe. So now I'm going to go through and list all these manually, but you know what? If I just said generate release notes, it would have put that in for me. Is it 15? Whatever. I think we get the idea. Yeah. And this should help anybody as it shows up in Home Assistant for everybody else. So let's ship it. Publish release. I could do pre-release, but I'm just going to release. Done. So now, in the next hour, HACS will find it as of when I push this button on the 7th, and HACS will tell everybody that there's a change and say, hey, Sir Goodenough's color multi-tool has a new revision. You should probably update it. And it'll show up in the updates. So, that's how that all works. That's how it shows up. Now, anybody that says, oh, there's HACS functions or HACS integrations, well, there's GitHub integrations that are custom. In this case, this is a template that's custom. There are also themes that are custom. But HACS doesn't have any integrations or themes or macros. It just has the ability to watch them and tell you when they update, and then give you a list of them so you can pick from it. And we're going to look at our other macros and make sure there isn't anything going on here. The availability template is to help you with creating availability. So it will accept a value and tell you if it's available or not, if it exists. Give you a true or a false. So does it do a lot? Does it do anything that Home Assistant doesn't do? No. It just might make it a little easier where all your code to do this is in one place and you just call the template and use it. I don't think there's a lot of people using it. It's not certainly any easier than doing it the other way. But at the time, I think this was my first one. So I was getting sick of typing the availability stuff everywhere. I decided that, hey, why don't I just make myself a macro and then I can just call the macro. Say macro exists, call the macro. So I don't think there's any issues. That was a closed issue. And we're going to look at the third one, the macro template I have. This is called Logic Checker. And basically, there's no issues here. But what this does is take a look at a value or a list of values and tell you if any of them are true and any of them are false. And you can break that down in any way you want, as you'll see. This was started to fix a problem that Home Assistant had, but it's probably fixed now. But see, it does do some things that you might need. You can test a list for any of them to be true or for any of them to be false. So if one of them is true or false in there, it'll tell you. You can test if just one of them is true. You can test if they're all true. And then you can test if one is false. And you can test if all are false. So you could, it might be important for you to say, if all my shutters are open, then do this. If one of the shutters are open, then do that. That's the kind of thing. It'll tell you if the things in the list evaluate the true or false. It uses truthy falsy, kind of like Home Assistant does. And it's an interesting take on it. Well, that's my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about how GitHub works and how to edit things in batches, how to merge stuff, how HACS works, using releases to tell the public what changes are made. Oh, hi. What's for lunch? Anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a like, that would be awesome. There's other things down below to help me out. Give me some watch hours, that's always great. And remember, next time, fix your voice.